Hey, y'all. Welcome to Atlanta Baseball Podcast. This is episode 1. Thank you for joining me. As you'll quickly find out, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just wanted to start a Braves podcast, and this is it. So we're going to be working together about what's going to work, what we're doing here, and hopefully we can grow together and I can start making a little better quality podcast, because right now I can tell you it's not good if you're joining me on video. But yeah, so it's do a podcast talking about the Braves. Love the Braves, grew up watching the Braves, grew up in Atlanta. But that is the end of the line of what I am planning on doing. I have no other plan other than that. Don't know how often I'll be producing a podcast, how much I'll be uploading. I have a vague plan of doing a kind of a series recap and a series upcoming series, like kind of preview. But that's what I'm going to do now. That's my plan now. And then after this episode, I have no other plans. So I don't know if we're going to do game recaps, daily podcast, only once a week, only once a series, but we'll figure those out together. So without further ado, I'm just kind of jump into it. The Braves just came off of a series win against the Philadelphias. Wow, the Philadelphias against Philadelphia. The Phillies, they took game 1. Elder had a great outing. They won 5-3. Lost game 2, 8-5 in 10 innings. Then game 3, Sale dominated the basket. Looked pretty good at different times. Matt Olson crushed a home run in the first, and they took that rubber match 6-2. So they looked pretty good. They got another series win. They haven't lost a series yet, which is very impressive considering we're about a month or so into the season. But yeah, for the actual series, I want to kind of get into a little bit of stats. I'm not a super stat guy, not really into the, X-WAR and OPSSB, whatever they're doing these days. It's absolutely crazy. But I wanted to kind of highlight the series. Wanted to lead it off with Ozzy Albies. He had a heck of a series. He got 6 hits, which was a 462 average, but he only had 1 RBI. That's probably because Matt Olson drove in a lot of runs before him. They moved Ozzy up to the 4-hole hitter, but hopefully he gets some more opportunities from that spot to get some more ribbies. Man, Michael Harris, he stayed hot again, led the team with 4 RBIs this series, and he hit 375. And Ronnie's coming around finally. He played pretty well this week. He got 4 walks, which I was super impressed with. Only struck out 3 times, hit a home run, and he hit 300 and got a two stolen bases this series as well. But unfortunately, the bad part, Austin Riley, he's still struggling. He did not do very well this series, but I believe in him. I remember, was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, whenever? I think it was a World Series run, so 5 years ago now. We didn't really know what he could be, and he was hitting like 180 or something, and we were all dogging him, but I made a bet with my friend Eric. He still owes me $1 billion, because that's what I made a bet with, that he was going to hit like 280 with like 30 home runs that year, which at the time was unfathomable. But then he just took off almost immediately after I made that bet. So still waiting on my $1 billion, Eric. But yeah, so that's kind of the main breakdown of the hitters. So our starting pitching dominated this series. Elder threw 7 innings, only gave up 3 earned runs, and then Grant Holmes had an amazing outing. The hair is just phenomenal, and I think that's the key to him. He gave us 6 innings, 3 earned runs as well. Unfortunately, he didn't get the win, but he pitched really, really well. And then Chris Sale came in and just shut the door on Saturday. 6 innings, no earned runs, only 1 hit. Just crazy impressive, and he looks so good. Even though the way he throws it and his age, I'm convinced that every single time he throws a pitch, his arm's going to fall off, but he's still going. I'll take it for what we got right now. I'll take it for what we got. The bullpen arm, Suarez, he had 2 great outings. 2 innings pitched, only gave up 1 hit between those 2 outings, 2 strikeouts, only 1 walk. So he is doing really well filling in for Iglesias while he's on the IL. But yeah, the bench, we didn't have to use a lot of the bench this weekend. Well, I mean, he did a good job because he plugged in Michael Harris in the first game, who immediately got was a 2-run double to I think, I should take the lead in game one. And that was pretty much it. Game three, we didn't use any of the bench, but he did put Mateo in the shortstop and moved Dubon to left field. Both of them got hits. So I mean, that was something to give Yaz a break, which he needs it. He played terrible this weekend. He's struggling. I'm not gonna lie. He went 1 for 8 this weekend with 2 Ks and no walks. So that he needs to start figuring out if he's going to be our everyday left fielder. Because I certainly would not feel well with Dubon playing left field every day. Yeah. So that wraps up the series. But as a big picture for the overall standings, like, we are still 6.5 games up on the Marlins, which that's a wild thing to think of, that 1, we're in first, and 2, the second place is the Marlins, and 3, we're 6.5 games up this early in the season. But we picked up a game on everybody since everybody else lost the series, and except for the Nationals, they won the series, and so we just stayed idle with them, but they're 7 games back. And the Mets and the Phillies continue to just absolutely struggle. The Phillies are 1-9 in their last 10, and the Mets finally won a couple games, but they're still 2-8 and are on another 3-game losing streak. So we'll see how long this one goes. But that is kind of wrapping up this series. We got a big series coming up. We don't have a big series coming up. We have a big road trip coming up, and the start of it is actually the start of this homestand, which finishes off the homestand. So we need to play well to kind of get that going, because we have a 9-game West Coast road trip coming up against the Rockies, then the Mariners, and then the Dodgers. And the Rockies are playing pretty good. I think they're 500 this year. Which is a heck of a lot better than they were last year. So they are no slouch. And then the Mariners are finally getting into a rhythm. And then the Dodgers, even though the Braves had the best record, they're the team to beat in the NL, rightfully so. So that will be a really big test for the Braves. Even though the Braves have a great record on the road, I think we're 10-3 on the road so far this year, so now let's move on to the series coming up against the Tigers out of the AL Central. Obviously, we don't play them a lot. Probably a lot of you are not familiar with them or what they're about, but I can tell you this: they have the best pitcher on the planet in Skubal. He is fantastic. We'll be seeing him game 2. The first guy, Mize, he is a younger pitcher. He'll be throwing game 1. He is, I think he's out of Auburn. I remember seeing him in college. And he's a good pitcher. Had a great outing last game. And then they're wrapping up, throwing Valdez. We're going to be throwing Perez, and then the rookie Richie, and then Bryce Elder will be closing out the series. So it's going to be a great pitching matchup. Last season, we actually faced the Tigers, and we faced Mize. It was he only threw 5 2/3 inning. We got 3 runs off of him. He struck us out 5 times and walked us 3 times. But he's a strong pitcher. He's gone 6 innings the last 3 of his 5 starts, and he struck out 7 or more in those outings. Last start, like I said, it was really good. It was 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. And then Skubal, he's trying to come and get his little bearings this season, but I think he might have figured it out last start. He struggled kind of earlier on in the year, but last start he looked a little better. Wow. And then we got Skubal game 2. He is a workhorse. He's thrown 6 innings, 4 out of his 5 starts. Last start, he got 6 innings in, but he gave up 4 runs, no walks, 5 Ks. He's kind of had an up and down season. He's trying to get his bearings a little bit, but like, it would not surprise me for him to, go out and throw 8 innings of shutout baseball against the Braves. Like, he's got electric stuff, back-to-back Cy Young Award winner. So he is great. It'll be a really great matchup and a really tough draw for the rookie. I mean, second start in the big leagues, and you're facing probably the best pitcher in the league. That's going to be tough, and I'm really excited to see how Richie handles it. Like, what does he do? Does he maintain his composure? Does he just treat it as any other game, and go out and just pitch like he always does? Or does he like recognize who he's facing against and try and, kind of match him pitch for pitch and overextend himself and get into trouble? But then to finish out the game for the finish out the series for the Tigers is Valdez. He's also eaten up some innings, gone 6 innings, 3 of his past 5 starts, and but he gives up a lot of walks. I think he's walked 2 or more people in all 5 of his starts. So I think if the Braves are selective in their pitching or seeing pitches, I think that they could get a lot of base runners, a lot of opportunities, and kind of wait for their pitch and hit pitches in their zone. I think they'll have a lot of success against them. But for the Braves, so the Braves were throwing Perez on game 1, and he obviously played for the White Sox last year. And so he actually started against the Tigers 3 times last year and had a lot of success for him. 2 of his starts, he only gave up 1 earned run. Another start, he got shelled by him, gave up 6 runs. But we won't talk about that one. We're going to focus on the 2 good starts he has, and hopefully he can continue to have that success against them again. But then, like I said, Richie's coming in the second game. Super excited to see how he does. If he does like he did the first game, like we have a real good shot of winning it. But it's going to be tough to beat Skubal for sure. Then Elder has got the 3rd game of the series. Crazy fact about Elder: he has the most innings for the Braves over the past 3 seasons, which I think is great. And I think that we need more of this, because when Bryce Elder came up, like, he was good, and then he was bad, and then he was okay, and then he was bad, and then he was sort of bad, and then he was bad, and then he was sort of good, and then he was bad. And it was just so up and down. And I know that the Atlanta fan base did not like him, didn't understand it, like didn't want him. He kept getting sent down and stuff. But then we had just so many injuries. He just kept getting called back up and kept taking the mound. And now he's just an innings eater. And now he is having an incredible start to the season. He finished out the year really well last year. And it reminds me a lot of John Smoltz and how, like, organizations used to be run back in the day, where I would want so much more of this, is that they gave time for rookies and for prospects to really come into their own, to really see what they're made of, to like experience failure, experience the toughness of pitching or hitting in the major leagues and working through that, and then seeing, and then they would pay dividends for them. So like, what if that happens to Elder? Like, what if he becomes a really great pitcher? Not great, but really, really good pitcher. Like, we would have never known unless we went through all of those pitching injuries the last couple of years. He would have been sent down to the minors, probably would have been traded, or probably would have just sat in AAA. But because of injuries, he got a shot, and he's really made the most of it. Now he's a good pitcher, a legit pitcher in the major leagues. And so I just wonder, like, how many prospects do we as a baseball community like pass over because they come up and do bad and then get sent down and then go off into the kind of the whatever. How many pitchers, or players kind of then just go off into oblivion and just go into the abyss of nothingness because they had a couple bad outings, or they couldn't figure it out because they were 20 years old or something. Like, a lot of these guys need time to develop and need, 2 or 3 years under their belt, and then they'll really come to their own. And John Smoltz talks a lot about this, and because I think his rookie or his second year, he lost 20 games, and he's like, I don't know why Bobby gave me another shot, but then the next season I did, and I did a little better, and then the following season I think he won 20 games. So I really wish that we gave prospects a lot more time to develop. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on prospects. Hopefully we'll continue this podcast or more episodes, and we can talk in more in depth about that, and maybe have some guys actually experts in that field to talk about it. Sorry. So yeah, so getting more into this preview, the Tigers, they're a good team. They're starting to figure it out now. They're playing a lot better. They're 15-14 now, 5-5 in their last 10, but they're 10-5 in their last 15. So they've started to figure it out. They started off the year really poorly, but now they're kind of hitting their groove, and they're expected to have a really good season this year. A guy on their team who I've never heard of because I don't really pay attention a whole lot to the AL, Spencer Torkelson. Torkelson. Hopefully that's how you say it. I don't know. But he's hit a home run in the last 5 games, which ties a Detroit record. So that will be really cool. Hopefully it's when we're up 10 runs for him to hit another home run and get the record for the Tigers. I don't know. That's crazy to hit a home run in 6 straight games. But yeah, so he's on a hot streak. And also Riley Green for him, he's hitting 450 over the last 5 games with 2 home runs as well. So those are the 2 real like kind of hot players for him. The Tigers bullpen has gone up and down. Apparently, as I've been researching them, they've blown a lot of saves. So I think the Braves have a huge opportunity because we're facing two studs and they're starting pitching. But hopefully we can kind of just take our time, bide our time, get into a bullpen, and then win a game in late innings. And then if you've been following baseball at all, I'm sure you've seen Javier Baez before. That guy's still on the Tigers. He's still doing terrible. He was benched on Sunday, and they haven't officially announced if he's like lost his starting spot or not. So that'll be interesting to see if he's in the lineup against the Braves or if he truly is like officially a bench player. Because man, he is a streaky guy and he is on a cold streak right now. So yeah, sorry, I got something in my eye. So that wraps up kind of the series preview, kind of the high level that I wanted to hit just to keep you informed. So when you're turning on the TV tomorrow night, or tonight, when the podcast releases, you can be somewhat informed of who the Braves are playing, especially since the Tigers you're probably not too familiar with. But wanted to do a prediction, and then a bold prediction about the series. So unfortunately, I won't say this is my prediction, but like I think this might be the first series that they lose. Mize and Skubal are incredibly tough pitchers, and hopefully we don't run into a buzzsaw. And we're facing, so I think that there's a good possibility that we drop game 1, and I think that there's a strong possibility that we drop game 2 because it's Skubal versus a rookie. But then I feel pretty darn confident of winning game 3, Valdez versus Elder. But my prediction is that we win the first game, lose the second game, and win the first game. I'll go with like a 3-1 victory in the first game. I think that if we don't get Mize, we definitely put 2 runs in the bullpen, feeling like a Matt Olson 2 RBI single. The second game, I think we'll lose 5-2. Richie, I think he'll still get in like 5 innings, but he'll probably give up like 3 or 4 runs. And then I see us winning 8-2 with Elder giving us 7 strong innings, and Ronald Acuna hitting a home run in game 3. So those are my predictions. Braves win 3-1 first game. Olsen getting 2 RBIs. Lose 5-2 against Skubal. He's just too tough of a matchup. But then we are going to win 8-2 with Elder dominating and Ronald hitting a bomb. Now, my bold prediction, I think Ozzie Albies, my guy, is going to hit 2 bombs this series. He's been swinging the bat well. He's going to be able to get up there, bat right-handed a bunch against Skubal. Hopefully he runs into one. But I feel 2 home runs for Ozzie. So yeah, that's what we're going with. That's episode 1. Hopefully you guys are somewhat amused and we can continue this. Obviously there's going to be a lot changing. We got a sweet backdrop of the Braves flag. I literally hung that up with thumbtacks on my wall, and my wife's going to lose her mind, make it look like a frat house or something in here. But yeah, so we'll figure it out. I'll be posting on social media, hopefully posting some more episodes in the coming days. But would love to do a series recap and a series preview type of episode every couple days, and we'll see how it goes. So I appreciate y'all, and would love to hear you in the comments and see what y'all want. Bye.